the winter break next year. So probably January 2020, I guess that will be. So this summer there'll be one, and in January there'll be one. And you can come here to Puerto Rico and write with us. It would be so wonderful to have you. So today we are on the fourth day of the writing reset. And today we're going to talk about writing focus. So this is something that I find is like, this is my soapbox thing. So get ready. Because I'm going to talk today about writing, why writing with focus is so important, especially if you've been disenchanted with your writing process, if you haven't been getting your writing done, or your interactions with your writing have been frustrating, then writing with focus is something that you need to try to do. And I'm going to talk to you about the ways to do it, and let you know about some options that I can help you with. So if you're here and online, then please go ahead, if you're joining me live, and say hello. Even if you're not joining me live, thank you for watching the replay. So what does this mean, writing with focus? Okay, so have you ever had the experience of, like, sometimes you sit down to write and the words just flow out? Like, you might describe that as being on a roll, or in the zone, or having flow. Any of those things where you kind of feel like the words are just pouring out and you get so much done, and what you get done, feels good. And when you read it over, it sounds smart. Hi, Carolina. And you feel really happy about it. So that is describing a writing session where you've been writing with focus. The opposite feeling is the feeling that everybody has had, like when you sit down to write, just a couple hundred words, and you can't write even a sentence, right? Like, you write and delete and write and delete, and it's just not happening. And then the experience with writing, instead of feeling like flow, it feels like fits and starts. It feels like, it feels really awful. Hi, Kay. I'm glad you're joining from the UK. Yay. So what we want to do is figure out, how can we create more of the focused writing sessions and avoid, as much as possible, the fits and starts, frustrating writing sessions. The reason that this is important is that, especially if you have been like not getting writing done, or feeling frustrated with writing, or when you think about writing, it makes you feel gross instead of happy. You want to try to develop like positive feedback between you and your writing. And what this means is that when you sit down to have a writing session, your interactions with your writing create positivity, like create happy feelings instead of feelings of frustration or sadness. So how you do that is by setting yourself up to write with focus, so that you have more of those flow sessions. And when you sit down to write, you have like a session that flows instead of a session that just makes you feel frustrated. All right, so how do you do it? Well, I'm going to give you three options. The first one is to write during what I call your tiger time. Okay, so I borrowed this term from entrepreneur Amy Porterfield. She talks about it as the time where you feel the most energy and drive. It's when you feel focused. You don't have to take breaks as often, and you can really sit down and concentrate on something. So this is like, what you need to do is figure out like what time of day that is for you, and try to write during that time of day. The key is that once you identify what your tiger time is, and you block off 1 to 2 hours during that time, you have to not write at the times that are not your tiger time. So what you want to do is like only schedule writing blocks during your most energetic times, and avoid writing during the times that you're exhausted, or you feel like mentally exhausted. I mean, like you feel frustrated, you feel tired, you feel burnt out, whatever. So what I want you to stop doing is saying, oh, after the kids go to bed, even though I'm completely spent, I'm going to open my laptop and try to write 500 words. Because this is just going to create that kind of Because if you're exhausted and you don't feel focused and you can't concentrate, then that is going to be a bad experience between you and your writing, and it's going to feel awful. And what we want to do to reset our writing, and really what we want to do all the time, is create these positive feedback loops between you and your writing. So one way to do it is writing during your most energetic and focused times, figuring out when those are, and then scheduling writing for those times. Another way, if you're not sure when those are, or if you teach during your most focused times, then another way to do it is to just write first thing in the morning. Okay, so I'm going to say first thing Monday morning. Like, just do it before you've done any other work during the week. So it's like the first thing that gets your most energy, and because it's the first thing that you do. So you don't open your email, you don't check social media, you just open the document and write, or do whatever, your writing task is for the day. So that's another way. And the third way is co-writing. So something that we've been experimenting with in the Academic Women's Writing Collective is co-writing. And you can do co-writing in person or online. And so the way that you would do it online is that you, like how we do it in the Writing Collective, is we have set times that are writing times for the whole group. People get on to a Zoom call, which is like a webinar style, electronic meeting room thing. So you get on Zoom, you mute yourself, you put your goals in the chat, and you write. And you see everyone else's little head there as you're as you're writing. Some people don't turn on their camera because they're in their pajamas, and that's fine. But something about having other people there with you, that collective energy and that, that support from others really does help you to get your writing done. And I have found that it is a good substitute for my Tiger Time. So even if I'm co-writing at a non-ideal time for me, so for example, as part of the collective, we have people from all over the world. So we do a 9 o'clock a.m. Monday co-writing time, and we do a 6 o'clock p.m. Monday in Puerto Rico co-writing time. The reason we do that is because the 6 o'clock p.m. my time is a Tuesday morning. It's Tuesday morning in Australia and New Zealand, and so that way those people can get on. Also, like 6 o'clock my time is like in the middle of the afternoon in the west coast of the U.S. So those people who like have an afternoon, have like that's still during the workday, and the 9 o'clock gets the the mid and east parts of the U.S. plus Europe and the U.K. It's a little, it's later obviously in their day, but we're awake. That's the criteria. So we have those two times, and we're going to add a Tuesday morning my time for co-writing. So that said, we are those are 3 ways to get writing focus. Carolina says, I've only joined the co-writing link once, but joining more often this year is one of my resolutions. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It is so energizing. Like, it's kind of amazing because all you're doing is like virtually joining people, but it's really energizing. Obviously, you can co-write in person, so you can find someone and go to a coffee shop or go to a room in the library. What's important is that you have to like establish rules. So if you're going to co-write with your best friend, you have to like not chat. Like chat at the beginning, chat at the end, but don't, talk through the whole time. So that's like a little, thing to be aware of. So I hope that you will consider joining the Academic Women's Writing Collective as a way to give some love to your writing and cultivate some focus. In the collective, we have weekly co-writing, as I just explained. We have a social network that's not Facebook, where we exchange ideas and ask questions and make connections, and we have um, monthly workshops, and this month's workshop will be on writing accountability systems. And when you join, you get access not just to the live workshops that happen each month, but also the back catalog of recorded workshops. It's like a little library of goodness there for you to see. And when I create the workshop, I create them based on what people are talking about in the group. So you get to influence, what happens, and really take advantage of having a writing coach virtually, right? Who can answer your questions and help you through your process. Right now, the cost of the Academic Women's Writing Collective is $39 a month. So about for the cost of taking yourself out to a nice dinner and having a glass of wine, you can be really ratcheting up your writing practice this year. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and put them in the comments, and I will be in the comments later answering questions. I am so happy to be doing this writing reset with you. I would love to hear in the comments how you plan to cultivate writing focus, which one of the 3 methods you're going to use. And I also want to invite you to tomorrow's video, which will also be at the same time, and we are going to be talking about writing community. All right, have a great day. Bye.